My next vlog is based on the resources of organization. So I also think this one is important, like as like a writer, and that is because like organization is like our key concept of like basically almost everything, and especially in writing, in my opinion. Um, so it's kind of like an organization that reveals like the relationship that the writer sees between like ideas and um, like asks listeners and like all these types of like people to see like how you can build this kind of relationship. So it's kind of like an argument, so called, like you can say. And so we're given some actually key concepts like um, one is that ideas are like clear and forceful, so we can use as organization. Um, first, first key idea is to um, take about think about formulating like a thesis and then developing from your thesis an outline. So kind of where we want to go, like where do we want to go? Second is like um, discuss three basic types of like organizations, which is like structure, function, and strategic values. And the third one is provide some like in-depth guidelines and like an introduction, a conclusion, like to help you kind of guide your way through that. And also these key concepts I learned um, were that in order to like have a clear central idea, or also known as like maybe your thesis, is that like look into like these good qualities, and one of them is to keep it simple in your writing. The other one is like suggest your purpose, like what is your purpose, and then like narrow your subject down. So I know personally I have some struggles with my writing, and seeing the rhetorical act book, I thought it was helpful because it literally breaks down these key concepts that are useful and illustrating like small diagrams of like an intro and then our body paragraphs and like all these other kinds of things. And I personally thought it was helpful. So outlining was another one, uh, kind of like what I said before. Introduction, body, speech and conclusion. And then by doing this, um, it will provide like a visual representation of like relationships among ideas you will like propose in some sort of way. And I think it's always good to ask yourself like these types of questions, um, if you're kind of thinking if you're going into the right path. And first question you can ask yourself is, what do you mean? Second question you can ask yourself is, um, how like do you know something? And then the third one is how it works. And then of course the last one is why. And the book also provides other kinds of forms of organization, and it's other forms are like sequence, chronological. So best way to like understand is like how it develops and unfolds throughout the essay. But I think that the um, big thing we need to know is like adapting your outline to the audience. And um, one of my online discussions I did based on this reading was the Hollywood's love affair for surveillance. And um, I like how there's like a lot of like outlining and like organization, and explains how like Hollywood basically has this love affair with surveillance. And it sees how like in real life we kind of see that okay, we're okay with being kind of like surveillanced around, but we don't know. But when we see it in movies, it's like Hollywood gives us this perspective of kind of what we're going through, but we're seeing it on a different kinds of like perspective or angle. And just the way this author illustrates this idea was pretty useful.